exercises that I think people should consider doing if they're sitting all day and they have pelvic floor dysfunction is the subject of this video. What I would like to bring to your attention is that for those individuals who actually have knee issues or hip mobility issues, these exercises need to be modified. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do, and we will do exercises that will allow you to do modification of these exercises that involve the hips or the knees. For the sake of this video, I'm going to bring to your attention 3 exercises. Number 1 is squatting. When you're squatting, and it doesn't even have to be deep squatting, when you're squatting, you want to make sure that your knees are stable. So I'm going to show you what that would look like. If I am going from standing and I'm squatting, I want to make sure that if I were to push my knees out, I had resistance. If I was pushing them in, I had resistance. So it's solid. That means my feet are solid on the ground and I'm keeping my spine nice and neutral. So I'm not arching and I'm not curving. And if that means I can only go this far down, keeping my spine neutral and keeping my legs nice and strong so my knees are not going in and out, then that's where I'm going to start and work my way down to a deeper squat as time goes by. The key is patience, which a lot of people don't have. The other exercise that I would go to is really assuring that my hip connection to my pelvis is being worked on. So here's a model of the pelvis, and the hips go into these sockets on both sides. It's a ball and socket joint. So I want to make sure that because I've been sitting all day, I don't just have the flexion extension, which is this movement or that movement. I want to make sure that I have internal and external rotation in my hip joint. And a really good exercise is to sit on the floor like so. Am I able to sit on the floor like so? And I'm just going to go this way and then switch and do that. This is a really good exercise for that whole internal external rotation of the hips. I want to make sure I'm not like distorting doing this. Ideally, I want to be able to keep my spine nice and neutral and simply go through that movement. Let's say you can't do that and you can only go from here, and then when you get up here, you have to slouch. Keep the spine nice and neutral and hinge back and make this into a supported exercise where you're keeping your spine nice and neutral, placing your hands behind you, and then you're going through these movements like so. So that's a modification from that. So that's the hip. In both of these exercises, I'm working on my spine to make sure it is nice and neutral. And honestly, I would work on paying attention to my standing up position. That means if you're washing the dishes, taking dishes out of a dishwasher, putting them back in, standing against a counter, you want to make sure that you make that mindful effort in not, so if here's a counter, don't let your stomach touch the counter. Try to elongate your spine and hold it there. That by itself engages the lower portion of your trunk and makes it work with the lower portion of your back in keeping each other in place. So mindfulness is so important. So many times I find people wanting to do, what exercise can I do to get rid of this? Well, you need to build the foundation. And these are great foundational things. If you're at work and you're sitting for so long, it's a good idea to set the timer and get up every hour and walk around. If you don't have time, it's not that you don't have time. You have not prioritized yourself into your schedule. So that's a different problem. For those of you who are following us on social media, I'm glad you're here on YouTube. For those of you who had no idea we're on social media, please make sure you visit the description box. I'm Dr. Shakib from Core Pelvic Floor Therapy right here in Irvine, California. For those of you who are in other states or other countries, we do provide coaching sessions that is available to you. All that information is in the description box. I hope to connect with you soon. Take care.